At this time, the first order of business is the adoption of the council minutes of October 4th, 2010. Moved by Councillor Peter Angelo, seconded by Councillor Maves. Any comments or questions? Having seen none, all those in favor? Motion is carried. Thank you. This time I'm going to ask for any disclosures of any pecuniary interest from any members of council. Councillor Wing.
An item on the consent agenda, Report F 2010-57. One of the properties is one under my ownership.
Okay. Councillor Thompson.
Yes, check 340162. It's a, I believe, a $150 refund check regarding taxes. A member of my family.
So noted. Anyone else? I'd like to declare personally a check number 340024 and 340602 payable to myself as well. At this time, members of council, we have a deputation from Niagara Falls Community Outreach. This evening, Rennie Piscatelli is going to make a brief presentation informing council that Niagara Falls Community Outreach is celebrating its 25th anniversary this year. So welcome, Rennie. Nice to have you with us.
Your Worship, Mayor Salsi, members of council, staff of City Hall, ladies and gentlemen. We're here tonight to ask for your support and recognition of the good work that the Niagara Falls Community Outreach has been doing for over 25 years in Niagara Falls. We are not here to ask for funding from the city coffers. The good news is that our capital campaign is halfway to our goal of $250,000. We are very proud of the fact that we are fully self-funded and very grateful for funds donated by the community for our operating expenses. We are here to ask for recognition of the over 300 volunteers in the program. We are here to ask councillors from the old term and the new term to use their influence as community leaders to encourage support of community outreach. My name is Rennie Piscatelli. I serve as a director and the unpaid fundraising coordinator on the board of community outreach. Other members of our elected board who give freely of their time are Shirley Stoner, Chair, Verna Craig, Angus Lafford, Rex Smith, Carrie Kay, Ron Douglas, Duncan Lyon, Susie Dew, Chris Watling, Harry Watling, and Kathy Wright. We are all dedicated volunteers with community outreach. In a few moments, Victoria Wixton, a volunteer with community outreach and a member of the Capital Campaign Committee, will give a brief presentation about the history and hopes of Niagara Falls Community Outreach. When it is completed, we ask Council to pass a resolution to recognize the upcoming week of November 8th as Niagara Falls Community Outreach Week.
Good evening.
Good evening.
It's so exciting to be here. Just a very quick presentation on Niagara Falls Community Outreach. Well, just a quick PowerPoint, and I apologize for those that don't have the screen right in front of them, unless you do. Wonderful. Who we are. Just very quickly to give you some history, the program did start in the basement of the community of Christchurch, 1985. We are, as Rennie said, volunteer-driven. Approximately 300 dedicated people within the community donate their time and talent. And as well, because of the community hours that we instill upon our students, we have approximately 290 students donate over 1,000 hours of community service to this program each year. We are not government funded. We rely 100% on all the donations from churches, businesses, social clubs, etc., and individuals. Oops, this is a fast mouse. Our collaboration, the outreach program works very closely with the Niagara Region Department of Health and, of course, the Provincial Ministry of Social Services. Our mission, very easy, to provide, to lessen the pain of hunger and homelessness by providing nutritious meals, basic supplies, and emergency shelter for any persons of low income in an atmosphere of acceptance and, of course, safety. We serve anybody who comes to our doors. Our guests are a cross-section of Niagara Falls. We have ages from small right up until seniors, male, female, all races. We do not discriminate. We do not judge. Our hands are wide open when they come to our doors. As a previous hotelier, when I used to say to my owners, occupancy's up and volumes are up, they would say, good job, Victoria. But in this case, I'm not too excited about saying our numbers are growing and our occupancies are growing. It's the opposite with this particular business. Not good. Just some quick stats. We serve approximately 90 to 250 persons a day. That's breakfast, lunch, and dinner. This past winter, our highest number was over 300 meals. That's incredible, with 40 nights of accommodations arranged in 2009 and 2010. Our history, take a look at this number. In 22 years, 470,000 meals were served. Last year, 42,000 alone. That's incredible numbers, again, all based on volunteers. Sorry, this mouse is very touchy. Okay. Our cost, not a problem. It's normal for any charity or service provider out there to have overhead and operating costs. Ours are approximately $90,000 a year, which we proudly arrange ourselves and raise through donations and through fundraisers that we do, and we're okay with that. We understand there's so many charities out there that need to do this, and we're one of them, and we're proud to say that we're self-sufficient in that way. And this is where we break down our $90,000 in regards to our overhead. Nothing that you probably don't know in regards to heat and electricity and groceries and so forth. But here's the big thing. Here's my point today. This is what makes me very, very nervous, is that because I'm so attached to the Out of the Cold program, which is now in collaboration with the outreach program, we've moved 5 times in the last 14 years. That is very hard. And when we're looking for a location, we need a commercial kitchen, we need proper fridges, and so forth and so forth. We finally have now a very good marriage with the location that we're at now on St. Lawrence Avenue. So again, 5 times in 14 years. So here we go again, very quickly. The property's up for sale. So as you can appreciate, I have to learn another kitchen perhaps. It's very hard when you're a cook to make sense of a proper kitchen. So we're located on St. Lawrence Avenue, right behind the public library, and the outreach, our lease ends at the sale of this property. We cannot afford to relocate again. Everybody knows that we're there, and we're AKA the soup kitchen. Everybody knows that's where we're located. So I hope you can appreciate this picture. We feel like we're a little bit at risk. We're under pressure as this egg. It's imperative that together we look for a long-term solution and become self-sufficient with sustainable, progress towards maintaining our home and being there for the need of all the people within the Niagara region that we serve. Our goal, it's a big one, to buy the actual property. That's the only way from preventing us from moving again. Let's buy it. Our goal, foremost, of course, is to be there for our community. We've also launched a brand new campaign called Hunger Can't Wait. Our goal is to raise $250,000 in capital to purchase the property. And here's the scoop. We need to have it by December 31st, 2011. So just a year away. But here comes my dilemma. I've used the phrase, the chicken or the egg. All of our concentration every single year up until now has been, let's raise the $90,000 that we need. Perfect, no problem. But now, sitting on a committee and thinking, okay, now I have to come up with $250,000. Which one do I do first? Where do I concentrate on? Operating, I need it right now. We're in the midst of our program. Capital, oh my God, if I don't concentrate on it now, I'm not going to have it for next year. So we're kind of caught in the middle, and I'm going to call it our internal struggle. Where do we go? What do we do first? What takes priority? What takes emphasis? Our greater burden right now, truthfully, is to secure that building so we can progress forward. Oops. So whose problem is this? Ours, yours, the community of Niagara Falls? Trust me, I repeat what Rennie said. I am not here to ask you for a check. I believe it's the story of give me a fish, I eat for today, versus teach me how to fish and we eat forever. I believe within this room that the leaders of the community of Niagara Falls can help us come up with a solution or bring awareness to the campaign that we're doing, and as well be on our team for a sustainable solution. Now, we're still hard at work. Please do not think that we're here and we're going to walk away and say, okay, it's their problem. We are hard at work behind the scenes. Right now, the team is working on 2 major galas, all proceeds going back to our capital campaign, as well as we have brand new toques, hot off the embroiderer press, that we're going to be selling as well. Again, all proceeds going to our capital. A.N. Meyer and Stanford Secondary School, they put together a wonderful program for Christmas, a greeting card artwork program, where all proceeds again will go to the outreach program. And of course, donations. Jim Craig has done an outstanding job of connecting with the financial community, and we're doing donations available at each one of these financial institutes. We have a wonderful gentleman on our board. He is involved with public relations. He's a little bit of an expert, actually, and we're very pleased to have his expertise on our campaign. But here's the scoop. There's a struggle. We are out there competing with all the other charities, and I'm thankful that they're out there doing the great work that they're doing, as well as us. Our program is not romantic. We're not sexy. You know, the bottom line is we deal with the reality of Niagara Falls, that there are some homeless people out there who are hungry, many hungry people in our backyard, and it truly is a best kept secret. In all the conversations and networking I do, not many people even know where the soup kitchen is, which is a shame. And it's my hope, together with our motion, to help you helping us, making our awareness campaign broader, that we will unleash this best kept secret. With gratitude, it's a community that makes us sustainable, and we are extremely grateful for all the past and continuing support and encouragement from everybody that's helped us throughout our years. We believe together, we put our hands together, we can come up with a solution, and again, not a check, but a sustainable solution to this awareness and making it progressive for us and, of course, for the community of Niagara Falls. You have on your table our brochure to help show you how to get a hold of us, and our website as well. We believe together we can, together we will, and truly this has to be a team effort, not an individual silo effort. And with that, I say thank you.
Thank you very much, Victoria. We appreciate your presentation. There's some questions from members of council, and I'd like to just say a few words if I could. We've established, as you know, a mayor's task force on homelessness for men, and we're working closely with the potential of looking at a partnership with the Niagara Falls Community Outreach Facility. We're working along with the Salvation Army, and there's some members of the Homelessness Task Force here who are with us. Pastor Herm Platt and a few others are with us, and we're hoping that in the next upcoming weeks we might be able to come to some terms to assist and work with the food kitchen as well. So it'll be exciting to see if we could accommodate in both areas. I'd like to be able to purchase the first toque this evening if I may, so I'd like to do that, and I'd like to encourage our residents and those at council to just be mindful, and maybe they can participate at the one of the two fundraising dinners. Randy, I'll just give you mine if I may. Thank you. I'll take the black. I'll take the black one, please. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Okay. Randy's going to take orders as well, so get them while they're hot. So. Actually, just remind members of council as well about the two dinners being held on the the 15th of November and the 23rd of November at the Napoli restaurant on the 15th and the 23rd at the Carpaccio, graciously provided by the owners of those establishments in support of this cause. And at this time, I'll call for members of council. Councillor Diodati.
Thank you, Worship. That was a great presentation. Appreciate that, Victoria and Rennie. A couple questions that I'm kind of curious about. Great program, and I know it's well received within all the churches in the area. I know last Christmas we tried to volunteer, and they already had enough volunteers. We couldn't even get in. There were so many people, which was great, which is really wonderful. A couple questions now. The physical space, just to help me understand, because there weren't any pictures, is there a hall and a church, or can you maybe explain to us, because I have a couple questions about the space itself.
I want to have Verna Craig come up and speak, because she is the one who is actually the prime motivator for the past 20 plus years. She can answer all of your questions.
That'd be great. Thank you. Through your worship.
Thank you very much. There are two parts to the property. Originally, there is the chapel building, which is an older building. It's about 100 years old. That's where we first started serving meals from, out of the basement. And because the need was so great and people were lined up out the door and down the street, about 13 years ago, we built the new addition onto the back of the church property. Actually, there are two lots there. We prior had purchased the lot beside it, tore down the house in preparation for this, so there are 2 lots. So there's the old part with which is the chapel. Currently, there is sleeping accommodation in the basement of that, and then the new addition, which has a new modern kitchen and the hall that can seat up to 120.
Thank you, Your Worship. So is there any more room available, or is it all being used for the program?
It is all being used for the program. The kitchen is very active, and we're serving 2 meals a day, the lunch program and the evening program. At this point in time, the evening program runs from November 1st to the end of April, beginning of April, sorry. Currently, the Community of Christ owns that building still, and they are still holding services in the chapel. However, our congregation there is dwindling in number, and they're to the point where it's not economically feasible for them to maintain the building and own the property anymore. So they have, I'm a member of the congregation, so it puts me in kind of an awkward position here. As a member of the congregation, the church had an appraisal done to establish a value for the property. As a member of the outreach board, the outreach board had its own separate appraisal done to establish a fair market value as well. The 2 parties entered into negotiations, and a price has been established which is well below the market value. Because the congregation has so much vested in the program, they want to make it continue, and they want to make sure it continues as long as possible. So we've just, our little congregation of 8 or 10 people, we've been holding on until the outreach program has the funds in order to purchase the building. So at that point, our little congregation will then move our services to the nursing homes where our members are.
And I understand, through Your Worship, the kitchen, it's a newer kitchen as well, is it not?
13 years.
Oh, 13, okay.
Yes,
Okay.
yes.
And the chapel is not, right now, would it be converted to part of this program? And how big is the chapel?
The hope is, square footage? I don't know.
I don't know, about 1,000 square feet upstairs, probably 1,500 square feet upstairs.
Yeah. Currently, we have sleeping, there are 10 beds in the basement that the fire department has given us that maximum. And those beds are set up. As the Mayor Salsi said, we have been in discussion with the Mayor's Homelessness Initiative with the hopes that once we own that property, we will partner with the Salvation Army. And at that point, I think their plans are to move the sleeping quarters up into the main part of the chapel. Major renovations will have to be done. We'll have to lower the system, put in a sprinkler system. Lower the roof, put in a sprinkler system. We've already put in all the emergency signs and that sort of thing. A lift will have to go in because it needs to be wheelchair accessible. So, but that funding, I am sure, will come from various grants and through the Salvation Army as well. So that part I'm not really too concerned about. So
well, that's great, because I was just thinking about Gary Taylor's for the needy, not the greedy, but it's not obviously not big enough to also share
no.
space. No, it's
No.
not. Okay. And now the major structure of the building, I mean, the roof and whatnot. Because my only thought is you're looking for $250. Is there any other major expenses that are right about to happen that you can foresee?
The actual purchase price is $200,000.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so we've got closing
Contingency.
costs on top of that, and then upgrades to the kitchen and a few, contingency plan, as you call it, for repairs for the future. Yes.
Okay, that's great. Obviously, smart business people here. And I know I spoke with your husband this summer, too, about the idea of how Sleep Cheap could potentially participate through the generosity of the hoteliers.
We are certainly hoping so.
Which is another avenue, yeah, absolutely. So that's great, Your Worship. I just wanted to make sure I understood some of the issues around it, and I'm glad that we're jumping on board and going to support this cause. Thank you, Your Worship.
Thank you. Councillor Thompson?
Yes, thank you. I had the pleasure of being involved with the expansion with the kitchen through the generosity of some people 13 years ago. And I think it is, without exception, a perfect marriage between the out of the cold and the soup kitchen and its location there. And they have made it something very special and unique. And I want to compliment the speaker on such an enthusiastic presentation. I think that this is so important to this community, and so important at this particular time in the middle of the recession and the job loss and all the other problems that we're experiencing, that we should refer this to our staff to come back with a report to determine how this council and the administration here can become actively involved in the day-to-day activities with respect to the fundraising, and to identify how we can assist and even as individuals solicit support for this because it is so important to our community. So I think that this is an extremely high priority, and I would like to move that we refer this to staff to come back with an outline of how we can work towards assisting to make sure that this happened in the time frame that's involved in whatever manner that we have to participate. And that opens it up to every aspect, even the municipal participation. So I would so move that, and if there's any opportunities for actual council participation and support in an effort to work with the group, I would certainly offer my services, and I hope some of the other members of council would do the same.
Moved by Councillor Thompson, seconded by Councillor Carrio. Once again, I have other speakers as well, and make a few comments. Councillor Pietrangelo?
Yeah, thank you, Your Worship. And
to the motion, or is it just separate? I'm sorry?
No, just a comment to the motion.
All right, thank you.
I mean, I support the motion, but I hope that when the community outreach program comes in to sit down and talk to staff, that they can also look at the feasibility of whether or not it would be good for the city to put the money up front in terms of a loan and have the organization pay it back. And I know that we've done that many other times, Your Worship, in the past, and I really don't want to name names of nonprofit organizations, but they're some of the prominent ones in the city, and I think it's a service that we really can't afford to lose. So I'd like them to have that discussion with staff, and I'd like that to be part of the report that comes back.
I have no problem with that. In fact, that should be in the report.
Okay. Okay, staff has that direction. Seconders, no problem with that. Councillor Carey? Okay, fine. Any other comments with regard to the motion before we ask for the vote? Having seen none, all those in favor of the motion? Motion is carried. Thank you. I'd like to make a few comments as well. Brenna Craig has been very instrumental in pursuing the fundraising along with her husband and others, and I want to acknowledge that I personally am always pleased to support the soup kitchen, actually the community outreach, and in particular there have been some substantial donations by many anonymous business people in the city of Niagara Falls, and I want to acknowledge and thank those individuals who didn't wish to be acknowledged, but certainly to acknowledge the fact that they have made contributions to improvements in the kitchen in the past number of years, and to make sure that that good work does not go unrecognized. So I want to thank you again, Verna, for your presentation. Also, I have a resolution before us, members of council. Be it resolved that the Niagara Falls City Council recognizes the good work of the past 25 years of the Niagara Falls Community Outreach Program, proclaim the week of November 8th to 14th as Niagara Falls Community Outreach Week. So moved by Councillor Peter. Having seen none, all those in favor? The motion is carried. So thank you for your presentation. Thank you for the good work that you provide for those who are less fortunate in our community.
And we thank you for your support. Thank you very much.
Thank you again. Members of council, the next order of business is a recognition of a number of businesses to be recognized for their years of service in the community. I'm just going to step forward in front of the podium. It's always a pleasure to recognize important milestones each and every year as we congratulate long-standing businesses and the people in our community. This evening we commend 10 long-time Niagara Falls establishments for their business acumen, their ability to remain viable and successful, and their commitment to their employees and their dedication to our community. Congratulations to all the following businesses. I will mention each business name, followed by some comments about their history. I'd like to ask that each representative come forward at the time for their award. This evening I'm going to ask if there's a representative from the Americana Conference Resort. Yes, so she couldn't make it, okay. We have with us the 1985 Americana Resort and Spa was purchased by Nicholas Sr. and Lucille de Bologna. Began as a seasonal operation which catered specifically to the tourist clientele. In 1989, the construction of the conference center began, which featured new facilities. In 1991, Nicholas Sr. passed away, leaving his wife and 3 children to carry on his legacy. In 1998, the expansion continued to include additional rooms and suites and a restaurant. 57 additional guest rooms were added in 2003, as well as a full-service spa. In July of 2004, Waves Indoor Water Park was opened, and presently the Americana is owned and operated by Lucille de Bologna, your children Letitia, James, and Matthews. I want to congratulate them on 25 years of exceptional business and expanding and serving the visitors and residents of Niagara Falls alike. So we acknowledge their 25 years of success. Next business is Joe Salvatore, Electrical and Mechanical. Is Joe here? Please come forward, Joe, if you would. After 25 years of working in the city and starting the Heritage Tower and then on to Evans Refrigeration, the Niagara Parks Commission, as well as the GNGH, Joe Salvatore ventured out on his own to start up his business in 1985. He hired his first employee in 1986, and Joe Salvatore Electrical and Mechanical Incorporated is a service company providing refrigeration, air conditioning, electrical, heating, and plumbing to mainly commercial customers in Niagara Falls. Among his first customers, Joe counts the Minolta Tower, Zappy's Pizza, and Saks Furniture. This evening, we congratulate Joe on providing exceptional service to our industry leaders for over 25 years. Joe, my pleasure to present to you this 25-year plaque, if I may, presented by, of course, this very day by ourselves and members of council, to Joe Salvatore Electrical and Mechanical Limited, celebrating your 25th anniversary, 1985 to 2010. Congratulations.
Well, 25 years ago, I thought 25 years was a long ways away. But, it came fast, and I've really enjoyed working in Niagara Falls, and it's worked out well for me, and I hope for all my customers as well.
Keep up the good work. Thank you again.
Very much.
Congratulations. Thank you. Thank you. Our next recipient is Niagara Helicopters Limited, Rudy Hafen, and Rudy's here with us this evening. Rudy? In 1985, the Niagara Falls portion of Pan Air was purchased by Niagara Helicopters Limited. Rudy Hafen, the new company president, began his venture with just one 4-seat Bell 206 Jet Ranger. Later that spring, a second Jet Ranger was added to the fleet, and the following summer, a 6-seat Bell 206 Long Ranger was purchased. In 1988, the influx of business warranted the acquisition of machinery with a higher capacity. In 1996, the entire fleet was replaced with the newest helicopter model manufactured by Bell Helicopters in Montreal, Canada. Over the years, Niagara Helicopters has been awarded numerous and several community service awards for providing helicopter assistance in search and rescue operations conducted by local police and firefighters. In 1999, Niagara Helicopters was awarded the highest honor for excellence in aircraft maintenance by Transport Canada. We are pleased to present Niagara Helicopters with the distinction of a Business Recognition Award for their 25 years of excellent service and business success in the growth of our city. Rudy, it's my pleasure to make this presentation to you as well.
Thank you.
Thank you. Likewise, it's our pleasure to present to Niagara Helicopters celebrating your 25th anniversary, 1985 to 2010, to Rudy. Rudy?
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
See you.
I would like to thank Councilman and Alderman for our mayor. It's been a wonderful time in Niagara Falls. It's been more than 25 years for me. As you know, I started in Niagara Falls in 1981. I came with a car that was worth $50 and lived out of my trunk for the first 4 years and lived in those dilapidated buildings in a sleeping bag. The wind was blowing through the buildings in the winter. And, but I needed the money. I had to make it an all-year-round operation, and so I started the business to become successful in the winter too. And in 1982, I pushed Pan Air so that we stayed open all year round. And from then on, we had Niagara Falls going 30 years in the winter time too. But I would also like to thank the people of Niagara Falls to be so patient. Yes, we do make noise. But yes, with our marketing campaign, we bring about 4 million people to Niagara Falls. As everybody knows, my marketing girl, Anna Pierce, right? She is constantly on the road. She's right now in England again. She just got back from China on a 2-week trip. And she's going back to Quebec, and I have another 2 girls who are always on the road. And It's about this, and then people do, it's hard to understand, but in order to make your own business successful, first of all, you have to bring the people to Niagara Falls. This is not about yourself. It's never about yourself. It's about the community. It's about building a team, bringing the tourists first to Niagara Falls, to Canada, to Ontario, to Niagara Falls, and then finally you may get them for your own business, right? And since 1982, actually, because Bannon was never in the tour bus business, I went out there and I had some connections. As you know, I was born in Switzerland, and I knew the biggest man in the tourist business who owns Cosmos Globus, and I said to him, why don't you bring me some buses to Niagara Falls, please? I want to build a helicopter company and I have to fill my seats, right? And that was the success of the company, and today 85% of my business are bus tours from all over the world, and we're going to have good years. I want to pass on this message to Niagara Falls, please stick together. We are going to have Asian invasion over the next few years, and we've done our homework. We're going to Asia since 7 years, and it's not a cheap thing, those travel trade shows, and it's not easy to get in because those seats are mostly taken, and you got to push and push and push to get on those stages international to promote your product. And we've done good, and when it comes to the aircrafts, you know, I stuck my head out several times with all the manufacturers, with Rolls-Royce Allison, GM Allison, with Bell Helicopters, with Chandler Evans, with Boeing, with all the big players, and I went to them and I said to them, look, we can fly to the moon, but we can't build a quiet helicopter. And one guy picked that up, and it was Lloyd Chopper from Bell Helicopter. He said, Rudy, I can't live with that. I'm going to build a helicopter that's going to be quiet. And the Bell 407 we're operating right now are the only 5 helicopters in the world which operate with quiet mode. After takeoff, we flip a switch, and it will take the rotor RPM down from 100% to 92%, and the helicopter runs 80 decibel quieter than any other helicopter in the world. It costs you $2 million to implement that little switch, okay, in each helicopter. But I said, look, we got to do it by construction. We can't just always go the political way and try to keep everything calm, and it will not happen. And in the future, we will have helicopters nobody will hear, and it's a great attraction. It's probably one of the best souvenirs tourists take home if it's run properly, like we have shown how to do it. Okay? Thank you very much. Thank you.
Also celebrating the Niagara, 25 years is the Niagara Industrial Ball. I'd like to call on Henry Mueller, and Bob, would you like to come up as well? Bob, okay, Henry, please come forward. No stranger to all of us. Welcome, Henry. Thank you, sir. Thank you. Nice to see you. Good. Niagara Industrial Ball was founded by 3 business leaders 25 years ago, being Henry Mueller, Bruce Peters, and Bruce Ward. These 3 men identified an opportunity to purchase old vacant industrial buildings and convert them into warehousing throughout our city. These industry leaders really grew the idea of developing brownfield sites a long time before it was widely known as a concept. They've made commendable practice of their envisioning a new potential at old sites and redeveloping them for purposeful business. All 3 gentlemen have contributed greatly to the community in their tenures of public service as community leaders as well. This evening, Henry Mueller will be representing the group, and congratulations to the visionaries for their 25 years of creating sustainable development in our city. And Henry, it's my pleasure to present to you as well a plaque commemorating 25 years to Niagara Industrial Mall, being the 1985 to 2010, again presented by myself and members of council. Congratulations, Henry. Thank you.
Mayor Salsi and members of the council. We've been here much longer than 25 years, but in 1985, Bruce Ward, Bruce Peters, and I got together and over an argument, and finally joined up as a team. And like Ted says, we've taken 13 buildings in Niagara Falls, which were really derelict, and fixed them up into warehousing of all kinds. It's interesting to note that Actually, I came here to Niagara Falls long before you guys were born, in 1948. And so that makes it 62 years since I've been in Niagara Falls. And I've done my share. I was with Chuck Chataway at the EDA, and I've been a 33-year Lions member. But altogether, the three of us have never had an argument in 25 years that we've been together. And that's only because we give in to each other, we don't argue. Somebody brings a building along, and we pay for it as little as we can, and then repatriate it. And we now have 13 buildings together. Unfortunately, like every other speaker, the tourist business is pretty bad in Niagara Falls right now. Hopefully it'll improve shortly. We are now working on joining up with Rainbow Tours and bringing customers from Asia, New York. Most of them come to New York first for 14 days, and they got to go up to a concierge and they say, what can we do today? And he says, well, how about a one-day trip to Niagara Falls? So we're trying to expand that, and I hope next year will be more successful than this year because it is tough out there. So I'd like to thank you all for this plaque. We'll certainly cherish it, and we'll try and buy more buildings if they come along, but it's very hard to fill them up these days. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Yes, Councilor Mays?
Henry, I can tell you the only reason you haven't had an argument with those two fellows, Peters and Ward, is you don't play golf with them. That's where all the arguments are.
Thank you, Henry. Our next recipient for 25 years is TriCast Bronze. Unfortunately, our representative is not available this evening, but established in Niagara Falls in 1985 at 5868 Ramsey Road, TriCast Bronze cast a full complement of copper-based alloys and solids, rounds, rectangles, plate, and tube. In 2008, TriCast outgrew its plant size at Ramsey Road and moved their office and warehouse space to Earl Thomas Avenue within Niagara. Their foundry remains active at the Ramsey site location, however, and for your long industrial history here, we are congratulating them. We are pleased to recognize the 25-year milestone that TriCast has achieved this year. So we acknowledge their contribution as well. So please applaud. Move on to 50 years, if I may. I'm going to ask Mr. Dave Govan to come forward, please, from the camera place. The camera place began in 1960. It was purchased in 1988 by David and Gillian Govan. In 1991, the camera place moved from its location on Valley Way to its current location on Queen Street. A second store was opened at Ridley Square in St. Catharines. Today you can buy or rent a camera, rent the studio, or even have your images enlarged, mounted, and framed all under one roof. Again, proudly serving Niagara Falls residents for over 50 years, we want to thank the camera place for their commitment to excellence in their industry. So, David, it's my pleasure to present again. On behalf of the members of council, to the camera place celebrating their 50th anniversary, 1960 to 2010. It's our pleasure to present this to you, David. Thank you. Say a few words.
Yes, I would like to. First, I'd like to thank Rudy Hoffman for cutting into my speech time. I would like to really thank Ken and Emily James, who I purchased the store from, Emily once said that I was like a son to her, but I think she was more like a mother to me, so it was really great. And I'd also like to thank Shirley Fisher, who was just about my first contact here in Niagara Falls and really helped our family get settled here, so thank you.
Thanks, David.
Thank you.
Move on to 100 years. Saint-Gobain Ceramic Materials Canada Inc. Again, their representatives are at a company meeting in Europe, but originally the Norton Company in 1910 has maintained strong ties to Chippewa at 8001 Daly Street, which was previously a racetrack. In In 1913, the Norton Company began manufacturing refractory products, and during the early 1940s, Guy federally developed the elemental boron, a metal that helped stabilize the atomic bomb so that it could be handled by airplane crews. In 1948, the company's research laboratory opened, and sadly, the once model research lab was torn down during the winter of 1990-1991. In 1990, Saint-Gobain Ceramic Materials Canada Inc. acquired the Norton Company, and Saint-Gobain operates in more than 50 countries worldwide and owns more than 1,000 companies. It's one of the world's 100 leading industrial corporations, and this evening it's our pleasure to present a recognition award for the phenomenal milestone of 100 years of business in our city. Congratulations again to Saint-Gobain Ceramic Materials. Move on as well now to Young's Insurance. Is Jason Valeriani and Silvio Garofalo here? Pleased to celebrate and help celebrate the milestone 100th year for Young's Insurance Brokers recently. The business began in May of 1910 when Robert Young launched his first business venture called RC Young Insurance, located at the Logan Block right near the corner of Queen and Erie in Niagara Falls. Amongst RC Young's first clients were Frank H. Leslie, founder of the Niagara Falls Review, and Alonzo D. Robertson, an architect and contractor who built many of the city's notable landmarks. In 1936, Carl Young joined RC Young to work for his father. In 1954, RC Young upgraded and moved from their St. Clair Avenue location since 1919 to the corner of Queen Street and Valleyway. In 1960, RC Young celebrated its 50th anniversary, and Robert Young retired to leave his son after 2.5 decades to run the business. In 1980, Sandy Valeriani, president, acquired the Young's name and the Welland branch, and today the Valeriani family and their associates head up the enterprise. We are very fortunate to have such exceptional business owners with such a long, rich history in our city and the region. And on your 100th year of business, Niagara Falls, we congratulate you. And my pleasure. Again, you had the presentation of the plaque, I guess, that we presented to your father. So I don't know if it is here. Sorry, back in here again. We presented this a couple weeks ago at their official dinner, and it was a get-together when the Young family was there present as well. And we had a chance to celebrate the 100th anniversary of Young's Insurance Brokers. So it's my pleasure again to present this to you before members of council. If I may, gentlemen.
Just on behalf of my father, Sandy, who can be here tonight, myself and the Young's Insurance family, we'd like to thank the city of Niagara Falls for the support, and hopefully we can celebrate another 100 years in the future. Thank you.
Thank you. If I could just step back as well to present a 25-year certificate to Micron Installations. I'm going to ask two brothers, Mike and Ron LaFave, who formed Micron. Do you want to come forward, Mike and Ron? Who's here with this evening? Ron LaFave and Jim Hess, I should say. Sorry. We get confused here. So Mike and Jim. Jim and Ron, sorry. Along with Mike and Ron. Sorry. That's right. Gentlemen, thank you. Just to qualify, two brothers, Mike and Ron LaFave, formed Micron Installations. The name Micron came from their first names, Mike and Ron. In the beginning, they operated out of a residence in Niagara Falls, and by 1987, business was good enough that they moved to 5439 McRae in order to gain some much-needed space. In 1989, the company gained a new partner, Jim Hess, again, head of the newly formed pre-hung door division, and business continued to grow, and again, more space was needed. In April of 1997, Micron was awarded the Niagara Falls Chamber of Commerce Small Business Award for Outstanding Service. In 1989, Micron was awarded the Vinyl Council of Canada Award. In 2000, Micron moved to their existing site on Kister Road, and Micron continues to be one of the largest home improvement contractors in the area. Tonight, we're proud to award Micron with our City of Niagara Falls Business Award for 25 years of outstanding service. So, gentlemen, again, it's our pleasure to present this to you on behalf of members of council. Thank you again for your commitment to the city. If I may. Say a few words?
Not really. I mean, it's a long evening. It's pretty long. But we want to take this time and thank all our customers. I see a lot of customers in the room this evening. we want to just thank you all for 25 years. It's phenomenal when you think back. A butcher and a shoemaker run a home improvement business and do so well. But the main reason why is service, quality and service. Take care of your customers. Thank you.
Thank you, John. Now, we have another recognition, if I may, I'd like to call on Bob Hoxie, representing BD's Basics, celebrating 150 years in the Niagara region. Welcome, Bob. This is our final recognition award of the evening. We congratulate BD's Basics, founded in 1860 in St. Catharines. BD's began with a single retail store selling books and stationery. In 1926, Lawrence Beatty purchased the business of Mr. and Mrs. Bixby and moved to 104 St. Paul Street. In 1930, the name changed to Bixby Beatty Company. In 1948, the company was purchased by Lawrence Beatty, Lloyd Hill, and Sarah Beatty. And in 1954, Mr. Hill left the company, and the name changed to Beatty Stationery. Ted Hoxie purchased the shares of Howard Beatty in 1994 and became president of the company. And by 1998, Beatty started trading as Beatty's Basics Office Products. In 2001, Don Beatty retired and sold his shares to Ted Hoxie. In 2004, Roger Beatty did the same thing, making Ted Hoxie the 100% owner of the company. Over the years, Beatty's has received numerous awards and accolades. In 2010, awarded the Builder Hall of Fame. 2009, won the Niagara Entrepreneur of the Year Award. 2007, nominated for Outstanding Business Achievement Award for the second time in 3 years. 2010 marks the incredible 150th anniversary of the business, and congratulations on exceptional and rich history in Niagara. We want to congratulate you and recognize your long trusted service to the people of our community. And again, we had a presentation that we made at the Chamber of Commerce and after 5 that was hosted by BD's recently. So it's our pleasure again to represent this plaque for 150 years of service to Niagara. You want to say a few words?
Yeah. On behalf of my brother, BD's, just like to thank the community for all the support. I do see a ton of customers in here. We're proud to be part of the Niagara Falls business community over the last 30 years, and we look forward to another 30 years of business involvement.
Thank you. Okay, Mr. Clerk, would you be kind enough to introduce the next item on the agenda, please?
Your worship, a public meeting is now being convened to consider a proposed amendment to the city zoning bylaw to permit a proposed recreational use within an existing place of worship at 6970 Mountain Road. Notice was given by first-class mail in accordance with the Planning Act on Friday, October 8th, 2010, and by posting a sign on the property in question. Anyone who wants notice of the passage of the zoning bylaw amendment to participate in any site plan process, if applicable, or preserve their opportunity to appeal to the Ontario Municipal Board shall leave their name on the sign-in sheets outside the council chamber.
Thank you very much, Mr. Clerk. At this time, I'm going to ask the Director of Planning, Mr. Hurlovich, to explain the purpose of the application.
Your worship, excuse me.
Yes, Councilor Mays.
I have a conflict on that. I received notice of that rezoning.
Okay, so noted.
Members of council, this property involves the Mountain Park Church located on Mountain Road just west of Dorchester. The property is approximately 2 acres in size. It's located on the south side of Mountain Road and backs onto a number of single detached dwellings. The site plan for the property shows the original church. There was an application before this council a number of years ago, which provided for the addition of a church hall on the west side of the building. There are 2 driveways into the property, and all of the parking is towards the rear or south side of this property. The application is to add a additional use to the property. That would be a recreational use for a children's indoor playground. The property is currently zoned institutional. It has site-specific parking provisions, which allow for the largest of the uses to provide the majority of the parking, and those are calculated at 1 space per 5 persons in the church and 1 space per 12.2 square meters for the ancillary uses. The intent is to add the additional use, as I stated, and to also introduce a new provision into that zoning, which is 1 space per 40 square meters of floor area for that recreational use. That is the standard zone requirement for recreational uses. We did have an open house in September. There was only one neighbor who attended. His interest was primarily to ensure that he could continue to enjoy the benefit that he has now, which is to get access to the back of his property from the church property. The official plan designates the lands residential. The policies of the official plan provide for ancillary uses that are complementary to the residential community. These include places of worship, recreation, community facilities, and neighborhood commercial facilities. The proposed recreational use complies with the official plan because it is commercial or recreational in nature. It is subordinate to the place of worship, which is still going to be the dominant use of that property. The proposed use is compatible with the surrounding residential properties. There's no intention to change the building. The use is going to actually fit within the existing building. And the site is accessed from Mountain Road, as I stated, which is an arterial road in the city. The zoning itself is institutional. I mentioned that there's a site-specific zoning on that now, and they wish to add the recreational use as an additional use. This will provide for a children's indoor playground, and the children's parties will be held there for a fee. The recreational use should remain subordinate to the main use, and therefore we would recommend that the bylaw have a limiting floor area of 500 square meters, which is the current basement level of the sanctuary. The existing site-specific zoning, as I mentioned, has a formula for parking, and they wish to amend that by providing for parking at 1 parking space per 40 square meters. There's sufficient parking on the site to accommodate this use. Therefore, we have found that the application does comply with the official plan. The floor area should be limited to 500 square meters in order to keep it subordinate. There would be only a modest amount of traffic, and Mountain Road has the capacity to handle that traffic. Therefore, staff is recommending that council approve the application to amend the site-specific zone, which applies to the land to permit a recreational use to a maximum of 500 square meters within the existing building, and that the provision for parking as outlined in the report also be supported. Those are the highlights.
Thank you very much, Mr. Hurlovich. And once again, members of the public are advised that failure to make an oral or written submission at this public meeting will result in the Ontario Municipal Board dismissing any referral that it receives. Failure to sign the sign-in sheets will result in staff rejecting an appeal as per Section 34, subsection 19 of the Planning Act. At this time, council will hear from anyone other than the applicant who wishes to speak to the proposed bylaw amendment. Is there anyone other than the applicant who wishes to speak? Once again, is there anyone other than the applicant who wishes to speak? And for the third time? Then council will hear now from the applicant or his representative. Would the representative come forward? Please, thank you. Okay. Pastor Herm Platt, if you'd be kind enough to introduce yourself, please, and your name for the record.
My name is Pastor Herm Platt, the lead pastor of Mountain Park Church here in Niagara Falls. Anything else do you need to know?
Thank you. Welcome. Are there any comments you wish to make? We have all the details that have been supplied to us. Anything further that you'd like to add?
No further comments.
Are there any questions from members of council of Pastor Herm Platt? Okay. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Then thank you. Yes. Okay. Any questions?
Yeah. When we close the meeting, I'll make the motion.
Fine. Thank you. At this point, then, if there's no further comments from members of council or those present, the public meeting with respect to the proposed zoning bylaw amendment is now concluded. Pleasure, Councillor. Moved by Councillor Thompson, seconded by Councillor Fisher. Again, you've heard the comments. Heard the motion. I should say, any further comments? Having seen none, all those in favor? Motion's carried. Thank you. members of council, I'm just going to defer my mayor's report announcements till after the final order of business, if you don't mind. And we'll continue on with communications and comments from the city clerk. First item is the World Planning Day, a memo from the Director of Planning requesting that November 8th, 2010 be recognized as World Planning Day. A recommendation approval for council, moved by Councillor Carrier, seconded by Councillor Maves. Once again, you've heard the question. All those in favor? Motion's carried. Thank you. We have another request for the Beaver Valley residents requesting for speed humps to be placed on Beaver Valley. Recommendation is to refer to staff. Councillor Thompson?
Yes, I've watched this with interest and dialogue with the residents out there, and I thought for sure that we'd have a report with respect to the statistical information on this this evening. I've been out there, talked to and read the reports. Obviously, the people are not abiding by the stop signs, the three-way stops out there. There's been several incidents and several accidents, and if this is deferred once more, we're going to be into the winter months, and there's no opportunity to provide the protection that they're looking at for that particular area. I think it's obvious that the people in the area know what they need and what kind of protection that they should have with respect to this, and they've identified the actual location of a couple of speed humps. And you know, you can have all the statistical information in the world, and yet if there's 4 or 5 people within the development that have no regard for speeding or whatever, then other measures have to be taken. And there's also the situation where if you get the statistical information, which is insignificant, you still have a problem. So I have followed this very carefully, and I'm going to make a motion that we instruct the staff to install the appropriate speed humps so that they can be done before the winter months to provide the protection that they need out in that particular area.
Thank you. Councillor Peter Angelo?
Yeah, Your Worship, I'd like to second the motion, and I'd also like to echo the comments of Councillor Thompson. I don't believe that we need a technical report every single time to ensure that safety is paramount in the neighborhood. I think that the residents have asked before for speed humps, and then council said no, and then this unfortunate accident happened, and we all have a copy of it, and I believe it was in the Niagara Falls Review as well. So I'd be happy to second the motion, Your Worship, and get on with it.
Thank you. Any further comments by members of council? Councillor Diodati?
Yes, Your Worship. I think it's absolutely imperative that we start to move forward with common sense. I mean, staff time can be used for things that are actually contentious. This is pretty obvious, as Councillor Thompson pointed out. The people living in the area, they see what's happening. They know they're there day to day. And even our staff, with their best efforts, can't put in the time that a resident does living there. So hopefully, Your Worship, we can get things like this moving a lot quicker.
Thank you. Council, you heard the motion then? Any further comments? I'll call the vote. All those in favor? Motion is carried unanimously. Thank you very much. Mr. Clerk, are there any additional items for council's consideration this evening? Okay, we'll move on to ratification of Corporate Services Committee actions. I'm going to call on the chair, Councillor Peter Angelo.
Thank you, Your Worship. Following items that will be ratified from tonight's meeting. First, that the minutes of the October 4th meeting be approved. Under reports, we had PD 2010-90 dealing with the proposed street name change, Sophia Avenue to Ives Avenue, and it was recommended that council direct staff to initiate the change of the street name from Nordic Gate to Ives Gateway. Next report, RNC 2010-22, dealing with the Gale Center agreements with the Junior Bs and with the Junior Cs. It was recommended that council approve the Russell Masterson Athletic Association and the Chippewa Riverhawks agreements for the respective use of the Gale Center facilities and amenities, and that the mayor and clerk be authorized to execute the agreements. Next report, F 2010-62, dealing with the Boys and Girls Club ISF Capital Project update. It was recommended that council defer the regional development charges, provide a grant of $22,976 equal to the additional city development charges, and waive the requirement of a letter of credit for the site plan on the understanding that any deficiencies will come out of future grants to the club. Next report, MW 2010-65, dealing with the historic Drummondville area municipal improvements. It was recommended that the contract be awarded the lowest bidder, Alpha Dome Construction, at the tendered price of $4,651,338.75, and that the mayor and clerk be authorized to execute any necessary agreements. Last report, PD 2010-85, dealing with the Downtown Infrastructure Revitalization Project, Phase 2, and it was recommended that Council approve the implementation of Phase 2 of the Downtown Infrastructure Revitalization Project in accordance with the priorities outlined in this report, or in the report, at a total cost of $2.278 million. And just under new business, Your Worship, there was a motion that was put forward that staff bring back a report on the staffing and building deficiencies at the new Gale Center, and I would so move the minutes.
Thank you, Councillor Pietrangelo, seconded by Councillor Diodati. Any further questions or comments by members of council? Having seen none, I'll call for ratification. All those in favor? Raise your hand. Thank you very much. It's carried unanimously. Move on to the consent agenda. Members of council, your pleasure. Moving whole. Okay, seconded by Councillor, motion by Councillor Thompson, seconded by Councillor Pietrangelo. Once again, you've heard the comments, you've heard the motion. All those in favor? Thank you. Motion is carried. Thank you. We have a resolution. First resolution be it resolved that the City of Niagara Falls approves an application to the Rural Economic Development, the RED program for downtown streetscape and beautification. I'm going to ask for a motion to approve. Moved by Councillor Carrier, seconded by Councillor Maves. Any comments? Yes, Councillor Wing.
I'll vote against it for the same reason I voted against a similar item downstairs. I don't believe that it's appropriate to spend public money on streetscaping and beautification, especially where there is an area BIA. It's the BIA's responsibility, not the public's.
Okay, thank you. Any further comments? Having seen none, we'll call the motion. All those in favor? Motion's carried. Thank you. This time, we're going to ask the clerk if there's any additional bylaws. I think you do have a couple handouts, members of council. Additional bylaws, Mr. Clerk?
Yes, Your Worship, the execution bylaws for the Junior B and Junior C agreements, so those will be 160 and 161, and the confirmatory bylaw will be 162.
Okay, thank you. So noted. So can I have a motion to introduce the bylaws, and bylaws be given a first reading? Moved by Councillor Pietrangelo, seconded by Councillor Diodati. Once again, council's heard the motion. Any questions or comments? Having seen none, all those in favor? Motion's carried.
Bylaws 2010-155 to 2010-162 read a first time.
Thank you. Can I have a motion to give the bylaws a second and third reading? Moved by Councillor Pietrangelo, seconded by Councillor Diodati. Once again, the council's heard the motion. Any comments? All those in favor? All those in favor, please. Thank you.
Bylaws 2010-155 to 2010-162 read a second and third time and passed.
Thank you very much. Call on new business. Yes, Councillor Fisher.
Thank you. It is my pleasure tonight to thank the staff for the way they have worked with me over the last 4 years and beyond. I really do appreciate the way you come forward immediately and treated me so well. I want to thank the council. This has been a wonderful council to work with. Each one of you have been extremely nice and you're very efficient. It's one of the best councils I've worked with. And I want to say to the residents of the city of Niagara Falls and my hometown, I'm not going anywhere. I'm going to be working for you. All you have to do is pick up the phone. I'll be there for you. So I'm going to say good night and God bless.
At this time, it may be appropriate as well to, are there any new business, by the way? Yes, Councillor Diodati. I'm just going to acknowledge Councillor Fisher, so if I could just do so. Councillor Fisher, we want to thank you as well for your commitment as the role of, as an elected official of course, the people of Niagara Falls. And Councillor Fisher, as you know, members of council, was first elected in 1991, and she represented Chippewa while the ward system was in effect from 1992 to 2003. Although Shirley was synonymous with the village of Chippewa, she did have the interests of the entire community at heart when she returned to council after the 2006 election and served for the past 4 years. So Councillor Fisher has served on many committees, and during her tenure in the city, most recently she has been on the Public Library Board, and she's been regularly assisting on the Canada Day celebrations and has been involved with our community policing community as well. So I have a presentation to make to Councillor Fisher, if I may. And do we have that handy? Councillor Fisher, if you'd like to come forward, please. Presented by myself and members of council to you. in recognition of your valuable service to the city of Niagara Falls, 1991 to 94, 1994 to 1997, 1997 to 2000, 2000 to 2003, 2006 to 2010. This is presented to you in recognition of your time you've spent with us on behalf of the residents of the city of Niagara Falls, and a small departing gift as well.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Councillor Fisher. I'd like to make some comments this evening. First of all, we'd like to offer our condolences to the families of Mr. Stan Code, who recently passed away. He was a dedicated employee of the city of Niagara Falls for 42 years. As well, the family of Mr. Biagio Tassoni, a longtime city employee himself, having worked here for 25 years. And we offer our sincere sympathy to the families during this difficult time. We have a couple of items I'd like to mention as well. Just remind everybody that the annual Santa Claus Parade will be held on Saturday, November 27th at 11 a.m. The community is invited to attend. The parade will begin on Victoria Avenue at Armory and will travel up Victoria to Valleyway and then onto Queen Street down here to City Hall. Everyone is welcome to join with this year's celebration. Santa Claus is going to be at the Buttery Restaurant after the parade, and you're welcome to bring children to meet Santa on his special throne. Also, the Terry Fox organizers, I want to acknowledge their efforts this year. They want to thank the community. This was the largest turnout ever, garnering a community donation of $37,000 for cancer research. I want to thank the community as well for their excellent support of this year's Terry Fox run. Members of council, at this time I'd personally like to make some comments, and I'd like to take a moment to offer those comments reflecting on my time spent as mayor. First, I would like to acknowledge the residents of our great city. It's been an honor and a privilege to serve, and I believe we sincerely listened to the people of our community. We worked hard to improve roads, to build long overdue facilities for families, and to find efficiencies that made things better at City Hall. In turn, we enhanced the city of Niagara Falls, and this council has achieved much together. We have accomplished a lot and are the envy of the region. As we look to the region's 2031 growth strategy, it has been determined that Niagara Falls will be the fastest growing municipality in the entire region as we move into this exciting period. As we continue to grow, there will be more work to be done, and I truly wish the next council and the new mayor all the best in their efforts. I know that you will keep the best interests of our citizens at heart, to do your best as you continue on the important work of our local government. And there are certain challenges that awaits this council, but I wish you well in your deliberations. As you continue to improve and build on the strong foundation formed in our city, may you remember that openness and transparency are the cornerstones of the democratic process, and that with a positive attitude and a will to do what is right for our city, continued great things will come to Niagara Falls. At this time, I want to thank our CAO, Mr. Ken Todd, whose guidance and advice I have much appreciated during my time in office. Your leadership, Ken, to staff will continue to be relied upon moving forward, and I wish you much success as the city continues to grow and change. Thank you very much, Ken. I appreciate it. Thank you, sir. Thank you. Thanks as well to, in fact, my office staff who helped make my job a lot easier along the way. I want to say to Kathy Crabb, to Christine Elia, and Carrie Campbell, you're always committed to assisting every person who contacted our office, and you ensured that the little victories were highlighted along the way. Thank you very much, ladies. We appreciate your efforts so much. Thank you. At City Hall, we have a very capable staff, and I thank each and every one of you for your dedication to this city. It has been a pleasure working with you for the past 7 years. Again, I've supported and encouraged you to do your best in your jobs. And again, I really personally want to say thank you to the many people around me that encouraged and supported me as mayor of this city. So to the city staff and all those involved. Thank you. And finally, to my loving family, and especially to my supportive wife, Sharon, thank you for your commitment to me and to the job of serving the people of Niagara Falls. We did this job together, and I will be forever grateful. And this concludes my remarks. Thank you very much. Any business? Yes, Councilor Peter Angelo.
Yeah, thank you, Your Worship. And I think it would be only fitting for the city, actually, to give you recognition as well, having served as the mayor for the last 7 years. And I know that after the election, there was a number of us who either contacted Mr. Todd or just talked to him when we saw him. And we were wondering about an appropriate gift to get you. We don't, you know, we didn't really know what was okay and what wasn't okay. We were wondering if you had a picture of Niagara Falls in your house, and we're told that you do. So we had to think of something else, and I guess there's a little story behind the gift that we got, because when Margaritaville opened, I understand that you are a big Jimmy Buffett fan, and so you asked Rossi Glass to make something special for Margaritaville. And what they ended up doing was they ended up doing a parrot that was glass blown. And apparently Jimmy Buffett has liked it so much that they're looking at instituting it at all the Margaritavilles that they have. So, Your Worship, I guess on behalf of all the members of council, and I have it in a garbage can. It's a well-hidden secret. Your Worship, we have this glass-blown parrot for you, and it's on behalf of myself and all the members of council and all the staff as well, in appreciation. And we also have, Your Worship, a plaque that we know you will put up proudly in your home, and it says, in recognition of your invaluable services to the City of Niagara Falls, 2003 to 2006, and 2006 to 2010, and it's by all the members of City Council, Your Worship. And I'd like to present it.
This is certainly overwhelming. We had the privilege of having a master glassblower produce this first one, the first one that was made for Jimmy Buffett, in recognition of him locating his first franchise in Canada in our own city. And it was a pleasure to have this made and to watch Angelo actually create it. And I do thank you. I'll cherish this forever as something that will mean something to me especially. And I thank the members of council for your generosity. And certainly the residents of Niagara Falls. It's been a privilege and a great opportunity for me to serve as your mayor. So thank you very much to each and every one of you. Thank you so much. Is there any further additional business this evening? Yes, Councillor Carrio.
Thank you, Your Worship. Just like to echo the comments of Councillor Pietrangelo, and I have a card personally signed by members of council for you as well. And I also have one, Your Worship, for Councillor Fisher, and we feel the same about her. Certainly, for anyone who's been involved with people who've been in public office, some people don't understand and appreciate what you have done as mayor, which Councillor Thompson has done as mayor, and what Councillor Diodati is about to embark on to do as mayor. It's certainly a tireless job, and we all appreciate you giving of your time freely to all the citizens of Niagara Falls.
Thank you again, members of the council. I do cherish my time here, and I do thank you for your support of the last 7 years. It's been a great experience, and our city is a great city, and it's certainly going to be moving on forward. I wish our new mayor-elect good success and good luck in the future. Jim, we're looking forward to bringing this over to you. Motion to adjourn, if I may? Moved by Councillor Mays? No? Oh, okay.
I think Councillor Diodati has an update on the Movember issue about us all growing mustaches, and we like to finish on a happy note, so would you kindly put your...
Yes, hold on a sec, Your Worship. Your Worship, Counselor Maves was a little concerned our mustaches wouldn't have come in thick enough for today. So today, as a special attention to Movember, where we're all growing mustaches for the men, because 1 in 6 of us will get prostate cancer, Your Worship. We're having a little bit of fun with a serious thing, but Your Worship, Councillor Maves thought it'd be appropriate. So maybe the camera could pan the rest of my fellow councillors to realize that we've all got these wonderful get-ups. And also, Your Worship, to make sure that we leave on a fun note, because it's been a lot of fun. It's been a lot of work, Your Worship, and we understand the kind of sacrifices that you make and that you've made over the last 7 years, and we do appreciate it. It's not an easy job. Anybody that's been in public office will understand that you do definitely make sacrifices, and no matter what decision you make, every decision affects different people in different ways. And it's tough to take a leadership role, and we do appreciate what you've done, and we wish you very well. And we know that we're not done hearing of Ted Salcy. You're a young man. You've got a lot to offer to the community, and thank you for all that you've done, and hopefully we can laugh a little bit as well.
Thank you so much, and good luck. Thank you so much again. Councilor Carrier, motion to adjourn. Councilor Carrier, second by Councilor Maves. All those in favor? Thank you very much, everybody. It's a great opportunity. Thank you so much.